Hey everyone. We finally returned to our game of A Town Called Malice. This is our third session of three, and this is a prequel to our previous game of Alice's Missing and Monster Hearts 2, where we find out exactly how messed up this town is back from various happenings back in the 70s. My name is Donna. My pronouns are he, him. I'm playing Zach Barnes, the law in this town. Also he, him. Um, yeah, Zach is getting by, trying to ignore the things that can go wrong in a small town, trying to get by with his personal relationships that kind of keep things running smoothly. Maybe not a stickler for the the law as such, but yeah, just getting by. I think is Zach's vibe. So let's go around the character keeper, get an introduction from our other players and their characters. So if we start with me, we go on to Max.
Hello, I'm Max, and I am playing Ruthie Briarwood, who has lived in this town forever. Ruthie is old, and Ruthie's sister is Lorraine, who you'll hear from next. And Ruthie basically is the town secret keeper, and she sort of knows everybody's secrets, and she tries to mind her own business for the most part. But there's a couple things going on. There is this resort that's going in that some other characters in this game are trying to make happen. And Ruthie doesn't want it to happen, partly because the woods which surround the town are filled with the history, the bodies, and the ghosts of Ruthie's ancestors. And the ancestors and the historical coven that has existed in the woods for a long time that Ruthie has been a part of, along with her sister Lorraine. Um, that is getting disturbed. The spirits in the woods are getting disturbed by the activity around this resort, by having strangers starting to come to the town. So Ruthie is in conflict with Lorraine, her sister, about this particular issue. And yet Ruthie is sort of the only person in the family who loves and protects Lorraine. So there's this sort of conflict between the two of them, that Ruthie is the one protecting Lorraine, but Ruthie also really is butting heads with Lorraine around what to do about the town. Also, Ruthie is butting heads with the sheriff or the law. She's glad for the law's desire to keep people out of the woods, but she's not so sure how she feels about his what is his stance about the resort. So I don't know. I don't think she quite trusts the law. Anyway, I think that's it for now. On to you, Lorraine.
Hi, everybody. My name's Jose, and I use he, him pronouns. I am playing Lorraine Briarwood, Ruthie's sister, younger sister, I believe, but not the youngest of the Briarwood sisters. That would be Maisie, who we'll meet later on. Lorraine is a respectable criminal within the town. She inherited from her father the tavern, the Dripping Dagger, where she does her business out of. Mostly small time kind of pot dealing. She has some pot grows outside of town in the forest. And she's been dabbling a little into prostitution. Part of the reason that she's hoping the new hotel will take off is because it's going to really increase her business, which she would love to do. So while she has a healthy respect for the powers that live in the forest, She does not trust that coven, because they had something to do with the disappearance of her her friend, maybe more than a friend, Julia, years ago. But so she recognizes things that are going on in the forest that might be bad for the town, but she doesn't share Ruthie's understanding of exactly what is causing it all. And so she's a little less willing to give up her hopes and dreams around the hotel. It is a hotel, right?
Yeah, yeah. Or a general resort. Yeah.
And at the moment, last time we saw her, she had just discovered the body again. I think I'm not sure if she was the first one to discover it, but this is the second time it's rediscovered, and it was her. She's particularly shaken, not so much about finding the body, which she was pretty sanguine about, but when the body kind of reanimated itself and started talking to her, I think that kind of shook her up quite a bit. So that's where last we left her. I remember maybe Ruthie had shown up at the Dripping Dagger while Lorraine was having a drink at the bar, shaken up, and they had some sisterly moment there. And that's the last I remember of Lorraine and scenes. And I will pass it on to Alex.
Hi, I am Mark. I use he, him pronouns. I am playing Alex Holwell, he, him. He is the medic in the town. And he is pretty much the only kind of medical professional available to folks here in Silent Falls at this point. He is focused on keeping everyone safe and trying to grow the town. So he and Lorraine had been working together to woo Jack Montero, the reclusive millionaire or more, who maybe would back the resort that we're trying to bring to town. Is it correct that there was a resort that had been started but was abandoned, and we were trying to get them to buy it, finish it? Does that sound familiar?
Yeah, I think it's kind of
Yeah.
a half-finished development right now. So they ran out of money or
Right.
something.
Yeah. So Alex and Zach Barnes, the law, have a kind of testy relationship, and they have been they've kind of improved things in recent times. Zach, I keep calling him Zach. Alex has noticed that has kind of come to understand that Barnes has the best hopes of the town in mind, and will go the extra mile to make sure that things are taken care of in town. And that is, I think, everything we need to know about Alex here at the moment.
Yeah, so Mark, you had an idea for a first scene to set for Alex?
Yeah, so after the body had been returned to the it's not really a morgue, but it's a room at the kind of the clinic. The body, again, just to recap for people who are watching, the body had been found with the eyes gouged out. It had its glasses, Clifford. This is Clifford Wallace. The eyes were out. It had glasses on. It was naked. Had these occult markings on the arms, and the mouth was packed full of leaves. And then when it was found in the woods again, I know that there was this experience that Lorraine and Zach had with it, but it was pretty much in the same condition, I believe. So, assuming that you've returned it here to the clinic, when we open on
it don't
this,
look so good.
yeah, it's not looking great.
He's got
I
a
think
bit
it was found in
fishy,
a dumpster
right?
originally.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I think when the scene opens at the beginning of this this episode, the camera starts by seeing it's a close up of some smoke rising in this back room in the clinic, and we see that as the camera pulls back a little bit, there is some kind of herb that is burning in here, probably sage, that Alex has set up, and he is consulting some book that we have not seen before. It looks like it looks like it's pretty old. And when we kind of gloss over it, it's got a lot of marginalia in it, and lots of different notes, pieces of paper stuck into it at different points. And Alex is working, it looks like, to try to cleanse this body of whatever kind of evil has been responsible for the death and the whatever else has happened to it. So the body of Clifford is naked, and Alex has a bowl of some kind of liquid and a washcloth, and he is kind of methodically going over the body and cleaning it. I think that I would like to, so I can introduce a new PC one time for free, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just maybe. Does anybody want to happen across this? It seems like it's most likely that it would be Zach Barnes, but if anybody wants to join the scene, we can do that. Otherwise, I can just go ahead and roll here.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it doesn't make sense that, after delivering the body, Zach is obviously looking for some way to say this crazy thing to Alex, to let him know that they experienced this, otherworldly intervention.
Yeah.
So maybe, it's not like he's got any reason to doubt that there's something very strange going on here anymore. So maybe yeah, he's gonna help.
So maybe we see Zach on the other side of the on the other side of the glass that looks into this room, of the door, that is.
Yeah.
And he enters.
So Mark, just a reminder, if you did want to spend some character points to bump your dice pool up, you could do that now.
I will.
Before you lay hands on the die.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let me share the dice room just in case.
I've got it here.
So yeah, I don't know. Do you want to play out that revelation, or do you just want to jump to the chase and do this?
No, let's play out that
okay.
revelation, because I think it would be good for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
So I think that Alex kind of sees Zach and nods him into the room.
Alex, yeah. No idea how this body got lost. But, I think previously I might have joked maybe it just walked away, and now, yeah.
I think that Alex nods, and he actually, maybe for the first real time, goes and to look at the soles of the feet. Are the soles of Clifford's feet dirty, as if he's been walking in the woods, do we think?
I think it's probably inconclusive, right? Because we found him in a stream.
Yeah, yeah.
But maybe there's like more. Maybe there's like mud underneath the toenails or something like that that you don't remember from the last examination.
And I think this is the first time that Alex has had a chance really to hear about exactly what the circumstances were. So he says, so it looks like the skin has been absorbing a lot of moisture. You found it in a stream?
Yeah, in the stream. I mean, I don't know, but okay. You're not going to institutionalize me or anything, but when we were fishing him out of the stream, he spoke to us.
Like you heard something in your head, or?
I mean, that's how we hear things, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I mean, did
He
his
spoke.
jaw move?
He spoke. Yeah.
What did he say?
He said, in the mirror.
In the mirror?
Yeah. Fucked if I know.
Zach looks over. God dang it. It's the actor that's messing me up, because the actor that I have for him is his first name is Zach. So Alex looks over and there's a mirror on one of the stainless tables over on the side. And he looks at the mirror to see if the mirror is doing anything strange. And he walks over and he turns the mirror around so that's facing the wall. And then he comes back working on the body.
Do you think that's a trigger for something to happen, or for you to figure something else out? What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's it right there. So let's do this. So I am gonna engage the mechanics. So I can spend 1 character point here, right?
Yeah, so if you wanted to, you could spend both those character points to bump your dice pool to 2, which is probably
Okay.
the most profitable thing to do.
I will do so.
If you had any additional character points left over, you could spend them to introduce like a new civilian, a new location, a new special item, or even a new PC.
So, okay. So that's the permanent bump on my dice pool. Got it.
And that applies in any scenes you're in from now on.
Nice.
Even if you're not the primary.
So if I look at these dice pools, it looks like Jose and I are winning the game. Just
yes,
in case
you are the most useful characters in our cast right
now. Okay. So I'm rolling to remove a die from the darkness.
Okay.
Is that?
Yeah, that sounds perfectly cromulent.
Wait, so there's also, I can remove a die from the body and add 1 to the event, or remove 1 from the darkness because I'm working with the body here.
Yeah, you could. So like, I guess because generally speaking, the body dice are gone after a while. It might be more profitable to do that because that gives you a kind of a twofer.
Yeah, I'm going to try that. Can we hide columns H through U? Are you comfortable with that? On the character keeper?
Oh, sorry, on the rule summary?
No, I'm sorry, on the characters page tab. Columns
Clara.
Yeah, sorry.
Clara.
Yeah, you can. Yeah,
that's okay.
I think
Thank
you
you. Yeah, we'll find out.
I'm not sure what happened to the merged ones.
So here's my rule.
So you have
How does
3
this-
dice, two for you, 1 for me in your resolution pool,
Okay.
and 5 in the opposition pool.
Okay. So now I have to remember how we do this. So the opposition pool is going to have 5, so I highlight all 5,
Yeah. And,
right?
Yeah.
And then the resolution pool is
has
3.
3. And you highlight those as well, and then you can reroll all of them.
Okay.
And you are.
Boom. Oh boy. I got 2 6s in the resolution pool and 1 6 in the opposition pool.
Wow. And 4 1s. That's like
And 4 1s.
multiple snakes with eyes.
It is. So many snakes.
Awesome.
So that means we're coming to the end of our scene here. So just briefly then, that means that we remove a die from the body and we can remove one from the darkness as well.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
So, what does that? I'll take care of that on the character keeper if you want to think about what that looks like.
Okay. So what does it mean to remove the die from the body?
So
The body
you're
dice
like,
represent.
Yeah, you're answering a question about the body.
Okay.
And I mean, I guess we so like we know who it is and we know a little bit about them, right? So like we could figure out exactly where they were killed or what they were involved in that exposed them to the darkness, or whatever question you think is interesting to
Yep.
answer based on the fiction so far.
So I think that we know there's a coven in the woods that is related maybe to Ruthie, but they were like antagonistic. Is that what you remember, Max? Or was the coven your coven?
I think I thought it was our coven.
Mm.
I don't trust.
Were you? No, go ahead, Jose. What were you going to say?
I say I don't trust those coven girls. They got plans.
So there was something, maybe a darkness or something in the woods that was the problem. Yeah, okay. So it's always the woods, right, Jose? It's always the woods.
But is the
So I
darkness the
think
coven? Is the darkness the coven, or not? Is it separate? I don't think we even know.
I think well, yeah, it's a good question, but I think that my perception is that it's separate. It's something in the woods, it's something about the woods. And I think that when Alex is cleansing the body, he realizes that these ritual markings on the arms are were placed there by someone using a piece of kind of sharpened wood. They were not done with a knife or anything. There's sharpened, it's like you take a stick and you sharpen it and you burn the end and sharpen it some more. It was done with something along those lines. So whatever thing is in the woods was responsible for doing that.
Okay. So, okay. So I think it's me. I think I wanna repair the remaining bad relationship between Alex and Zach. under the guise of going out into the woods, because I remember from a report like last winter or something that someone found this strange campfire with like lots of small burnt sticks. That kind of jogs my memory, right? But fictionally, I think, or at least mechanically, the purpose of this is for us to spend some time together and maybe talk about in more complex terms than we have in the past, right? For Zach to realize that Alex is maybe not quite as sure of his moral high ground as Zach has until now thought. Does that sound okay, Mark? Okay. So yeah, we're driving out in the sheriff's vehicle, this rundown, like late 1950s car, which is well past its sell-by date. Where did you hear about this stuff before, Alex?
Well, I don't like to talk about it too much, but there was a group of people, an intentional community, if you will, that I was involved in. They taught me some things about they taught me some things about some things that can't be explained by science, things that kind of fall outside the realm of the work that I normally do.
Didn't realize you were a hippie back in the day, Alex.
So I think that Alex grins just a little bit. Well, I was probably the most uptight person there, but it helped me in some ways. It helped me to realize that my obligation to the community, to any community, is to any community that I'm in, is important, especially after Clara left and I was kind of adrift. I mean, we did some things that were probably that I wouldn't do now unless I absolutely had to, but that's all in the past.
I think we all done things we wouldn't have done in our youth, right? I don't think that's a crime. Yes, it is. Yeah. Well,
that it's a crime. I mean, I know that you are sworn to uphold the law and to do things in a certain way, but I'm afraid that we may have to do some ugly things before this is over. I wish that it wasn't that way, but do you think you can do that?
Ugly things. What uglier than prizing out a man's eyes and dumping him in a dumpster. I want to get.
Well, I don't know.
I want to get the folk who did that.
Okay. I wouldn't
I'm not
say
gonna
uglier
be,
than that, but
well, I'm not going to be checking the rule book to make sure. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just not
that's
not fond of people murdering folk. Not in this town.
yeah. You know, I understand, and I mean, it's good to hear. It's good to hear we're on the same page here.
So yeah, I think maybe we, park out wherever we're going in the forest and start hiking towards this place. I wonder if we should roll the dice now and then.
Yeah, do it totally.
How horribly will things go? Uh, okay, so I think it's the same dice pools as last time. I'm saving my character point. I'm saving up to become a fruitful member of the group. So I'm not gonna spend it to get a bonus on this die. I'm just gonna trust luck. Okay. Well, that certainly is the opposite to our previous 3 6s. Bam, 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 in the opposition pool, and
That's ugly.
a total of 6 in the resolution pool.
So you were trying to change the relationship, is that correct?
I was trying to change the relationship. So,
Okay.
So that does not happen.
It's true.
There's,
Well, I mean, it makes sense too, because I think that I never got to the point where Alex was, I was trying to aim in the direction that we were looking for, and I found I couldn't make it happen. So makes sense.
so maybe we find something, and do you think Alex says something that reinforces Zach's old prejudice about him?
Yeah, so I think that Alex says Zach, I'm going to be playing with you here. I think we're dealing with forces that you're just going to have trouble understanding. These are things that go beyond men. It's beyond all of us. And I don't know, I want you to be prepared. I mean, I know that you do the best you can, but I want you to be prepared for the way this falls out. Not everybody is up to it.
Yeah, and I think Zach bites back his retort and shakes his head and kicks over the pile of burnt sharp sticks that he's found in the middle of this clearing. I hear you, Alex. I hear you loud and clear. So, for pursuing a personal scene or repairing a relationship, I get a character point, which I will spend to bump my dice pool up to 2. Yeah, we are definitely not hugging this one out. Okay, awesome. Well, I think like the impression that the audience gets is that Zach is definitely not taking Alex's advice. He is kind of ready to down the torpedoes straight at him with this problem. Beyond my ken, sure.
I couldn't think of a good way to do it, so yeah.
No, it's good.
I didn't know Alex was an asshole. He really is.
Listen, I mean, I wrote wiser than thou attitude, kind of half in jest, but apparently is dead on the money.
It is.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Thanks, Mark. Max, how about a scene for Ruthie?
All right. I'm just looking at the character keeper and wondering if Lorraine's relationship with Clara needs to get replaced with something else.
No, well, I think just where this is concerned, we're just gonna kind of hand wave over this and leave them off. We're just kind of dealing with these three sets of relationships right now. There's no wraparound like there should be.
What's Lorraine's relationship with Zach?
Mechanically, there's none, but fictionally, I don't know. I'm free Saturday night. I would say, how about Lorraine?
And
go ahead.
No, go ahead. What do you think?
We can play to find out, but clearly there was a flirtation going on, and there was. I remember saying something like, back in the day, you were a pretty good looker. So I don't know if there was some dalliance or something back in high school, because we both have been around for a long time, that she's referring to, but we can play to find that out.
And what's Lorraine's relationship with Alex?
So Lorraine and Alex are working together to to bring Jack Montero to invest in the resort.
Mm-hmm.
That's about the only thing I think of.
All right. Well, I am imagining Ruthie has seen the boys drive by in the way past the sale date cop car and seen them go into the woods together, seen them in the clearing talking, and it's just kind of noticing all of that. And I think I want to have a scene with Lorraine, actually. So I'm imagining maybe I will go over to what's it called, Lorraine's place, the dirty what?
Dripping Dagger.
Dripping. Who decided that name? The Dripping Dagger.
Original game from Alice's Missing game.
All right, so I think Ruthie is going to saunter on over to the Dripping Dagger in search of Lorraine.
Lorraine's at the bar, looking over some books, and I think we see her. There's a mirror behind it's one of those bars that has like mirror behind all the bottles, and I think Lorraine looks up the mirror and then shakes her head and looks down at the books again, and then she sees that Ruthie has walked in, and she says, "Well, thanks for coming over, sister. I couldn't stomach another cup of that coffee from that diner." I don't know how you stomach it.
Oh, you don't think I actually drink that, do you?
Well, that explains it then.
Sometimes you just got to be polite. Hey,
you're just willing to poison the rest of us, I see.
You don't have to drink it, sister.
Have a seat. You want something?
Well, I just saw your boys headed into the woods. Wonder if you know what's going on.
No. I got a lot of boys, Ruthie. Which ones you talking about?
Oh, you know, the big boys.
The
The
big.
doctor, the copper.
Oh, those two. Are they getting along better?
They look pretty chummy driving down in that car going into the woods together.
Well, we'll see if they come out as chummy.
I heard that you've been striking one up with that cop.
You know, Zach and I go way back. Remember back in high school? He was quite a looker, don't you remember? Although you weren't looking at the boys very much back then. You had other things on your mind.
Well, I just want to say, I don't think that cop has your back. I think you need to be careful.
I hear you. We are on opposite sides of the law, after all. Although he's always been a little lax about his commitment to the letter of the law, from my perspective, which I've appreciated about him. But
Yes, don't we all?
what do you know? What do you know, sister? He seemed pretty chummy the other day when I was just yesterday when we found the body. Oh, the body. I think I need a drink. I know you don't want anything, Ruthie. Wolf, bring me another shot.
No, I want to drink too.
Oh, what you having?
Mm,
Something strong or something sweet?
whiskey sour.
Whiskey sour. And she
Add
makes
a little grapefruit juice.
with prune juice, is that what you said?
Grapefruit.
Oh, grapefruit.
I have a little something for you.
Tell me.
You know, our sisters in the woods asked me to give this to you.
You know how I feel about them.
I know, but you can't separate yourself from them. You took oaths. Childhood, remember those oaths?
I was just a girl.
I know.
You gonna hold me to all that?
I'm not going to hold you. But they asked me to bring you this. And what I pull out of my dress, my house coat, is a round wooden mirror with a handle.
Well, she.
I lay it on the bar, face up.
Lorraine just reaches over and like turns it face down.
You
Did I
can't
tell you-
hide. Can't hide.
Did I tell you what that corpse said to me? That
Nope.
corpse came alive and said words to me, sister.
I'm not surprised.
Said, look in the mirror.
And what are you doing? Are you going to look in that mirror?
Should I take the advice of a corpse?
Apparently, the sisters want you to look in that mirror too. Why'd they send it through me? There's something here for you.
All right, you're better with this stuff than I am, Ruthie. So hold my hand, would you?
All right. Here you go. Here's my hand.
And Lorraine picks up the mirror and holds it up and looks into it. Closes one eye. Closes her right eye. I can do that. So she looks into it with her left. And wait, is this scene about a relationship scene or is it about a darkness scene? I can't remember.
Oh, I don't know.
I think you're just seeing where that road takes you, right?
We'll see where that road takes us. We can decide.
Yeah. We'll burn that
backwards.
bridge when we come to it, right?
Yeah, we'll burn that bridge.
So help me out here if you need to, Max. I think we see Lorraine's eyes kind of glaze over a little bit,
Hmm.
and her hand kind of goes limp in Ruthie's hand.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she starts to slump against the bar, as if she's going to collapse against the bar. Does Ruthie let her collapse?
Ruthie feels her hand go soft, and she actually lets it go. So Lorraine slumps.
Lorraine slumps. And Wolf calls from the other side, "Boss, are you okay?" And he comes hurrying around the bar. If anyone wants to play Wolf, they can.
I'm happy to jump in with Wolf.
Okay. Ruthie reaches over and puts her hand on Lorraine's shoulder that's slumped down on the bar and says, Sister, you need to look. You need to look. Get your head up. Get your head up.
So I think Wolf, like, sure, Lorraine has never drunk, over the limit or whatever, but he's a bouncer, so he's used to lifting people out or where they don't want to go or where they can't go. But he's probably gentler than he is with the customers, right? And I think he, grabs a bar stool, like reaches over the bar, grabs a bar stool, and like puts it under you. Boss, you all right? And I think, just inadvertently, now you're facing the rack of whiskeys with the mirror behind us.
And then Lorraine perks up and she kind of leans on Wolf and is like, "Hold me up, boy. I got something hard to do." And then she stretches her hand out towards the mirror, and I think what I'm seeing is her hands penetrate the mirror a bit, and then it looks like some of the mirror, kind of like a liquid, like a silver liquid, goes across her hands, and then she pulls it back and it stops. And then she opens her hand, she looks at it, goes, and she looks over her shoulder at Ruthie and says, "All right, it's done. I don't know where it's going to lead me, but it's done. You satisfied?"
Tell me what you saw.
"I don't know yet."
Max, you think you want to roll the dice here?
Oh yeah, that might be a place to roll. Then see, I'll tell you what I saw.
Okay, you guys need to guide me through how to do this.
So right now, the opposition pool has 5, and the resolution pool with Ruthie and Lorraine has 3.
Yeah.
You both have 1 character point right now, so that you could spend those to get a temporary bonus of dice if you bring in like a new NPC, a new object, or a new location. I guess technically that location could be through the mirror, right?
Well, and I did bring in an extra mirror. I introduced an object. So does that count?
Sure. Yeah, we can. You could say that. I mean, if you want to spend a point on it, you get the extra die for it.
Okay. Do you advise that I do that?
One way, it's your scene, so if you don't do it, you might get another character point, and then you can turn in those 2 character points for a dice, which is what other people have been doing.
Permanent dice.
A permanent,
Yeah.
a permanent
Right.
addition to your pool.
Okay.
So they can make this one riskier, but it it would help you in the long run.
All right, well
So
then I won't spend it now.
so that means that so to get that extra point, like when I had my scene, you make it about the relationship or your kind of personal mission,
Right.
your personal goal. Um,
It's about both, it seems to me.
yeah. So
Yeah.
if you want to roll,
Mhm.
to fix the relationship with Lorraine,
Okay, it's my
you
second time, my second
yeah,
try.
your second try. And then obviously like there's nothing mechanically affecting the darkness or anything, but I think you can make shit up about what you saw through the mirror, and that can be the basis of the understanding. Um, so at present, if you're not spending any, but sorry, and Jose, you can also spend a character point to bring something into the scene if you wanted to, because you're involved.
Yeah, I think I'm going to save mine and see if I can get up another die pool, because
Okay.
we're going to have a lot of hard rolls coming up soon.
We are. So at present, you're just rolling 5 for the opposition pool and 3 for the resolution pool. So you click on each one of those dice, and then at the bottom there's a reroll symbol in purple.
Yeah. Okay, here I go.
Okay. And you're looking for something better than mine.
So you
it doesn't
roll
look
the
like you
opposition.
actually rolled the 3.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
rolled the opposition, but you haven't rolled the resolution.
So yeah, select the red ones underneath the resolution
Oh, I see.
roll and roll those now.
Oh, ouch.
It gave
Well,
me the same
It's
ones.
the same. But yeah, you can see that at the top underneath
Yeah.
the dice, it tells you. Yeah,
Right, I got
unlucky.
2, 3, 1.
So the opposition pool wins out, and the
Oh boy.
relationship is not repaired.
Oh, the rain!
Not my
But
fault.
so what I would
Come
suggest
on.
is Jose, whatever you saw through the mirror
Mhm.
has again maybe not helped you see your sister's side of this at all, right? So why don't you share that?
Yeah. So I think when Ruthie asked, "Now, what'd you see through the mirror?" I say, "Shut your hole, Ruthie." I didn't see nothing no good. Why are you forcing me to do this stuff?
You have a role. You have a role here. You need to accept it.
I need to rest. Wolf, take care of the bar. I'm going in the back room. Ruthie, I'll see you later. And she kind of stumbles off towards the back room a bit.
All right.
Okay.
Ruthie slams back her whiskey sour with grapefruit juice. Sober as she is, and saunters out of the bar. She brushes off her house coat, saunters off out of the bar.
Awesome. So Max, you get a character point for
Okay.
pursuing a personal relationship. You can spend that now to bump your die pool up to 2, or you can leave it in the bank.
I think I will spend it now.
Okay, cool. So let's, I think, take a break a little bit later than anticipated, but I've got 7 past, so how about back at 1/4 past?
Okay.
Okay, I'll see you back then. Yeah,
So
go
I
ahead,
think,
Jose.
the next time we see Lorraine, it's later. It's late afternoon, and she is sitting in her car. It's a black Gran Torino, and she's smoking a cigarette.
I think I played Jack last time, so
Okay.
unless anyone really wants to jump in, I will reprise my role.
And as she's walking, I think she's focused on Jack, and she hasn't reached him, but she can hear like whispers in her ears, and she's like shaking her head because she's hearing some kind of strange whispers in her head. And she's trying her best to focus on something pragmatic that she feels she has control over, which is business.
So yeah, I think Jack kind of stops walking. I mean, maybe he's deciding to stop walking, or maybe the dog is just stopped for some unknown reason, or some very obvious reason, maybe.
The dog's in the middle of something.
Yeah. Lorraine, how are things?
Hey there, Jack. I see Rex has still got some energy in him. What have you been feeding him? My goodness.
Only the best. Only the best.
Well, I guess with the years, all of our GI tracts go south, don't they? Poor Rex.
Well, there's a lot more left on my plate these days than there was in my youth. And the Rex is just gobbling that all up.
Oh, you always were a softie for that dog, Jack. Now, I need to ask you something, friend. We've known each other for many years. We've lived in this town.
And not this old sale pitch again, Lorraine. Come on, you've already made your shot. You know, I'm looking into it. You know, my bookkeeper has a problem returning my calls right now. You know what I mean?
Oh, that one. Yeah, he doesn't talk much anymore, does he? She takes a heavy sigh. Now, I'm just wondering, Jack, whether that's the truth or whether you're just not really convinced. And I'm wondering if there's anything I can do to sweeten the deal. You know, one thing I was thinking about, I know you have some, medical issues that arise often.
Well,
I'm sure.
Alex takes good care of me.
And we want that to continue, don't we? What if we could find a way for Alex to be your personal physician and he could take care of you all the time? Whenever you wouldn't have to wait out there. I always see you waiting out there in front of the clinic, waiting for it to open. And I know he doesn't open it very often. And what if you could just have him on your speed dial and call him anytime
I mean, I'm sure Alex would laugh at that because I do call him anytime.
Well, you just leave Alex to me. I can talk to him. I don't know if I should roll now before we continue the conversation.
Yeah, maybe it's good to know. Yeah.
If it's going to go south, we should know now.
That makes sense.
All right.
So this is for the event, right?
This is for the event, yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to get the funding nailed down.
So, and I, by leveraging Alex, I guess you're using that die pool.
Oh, do I need to use a character point for that?
Well, no. So, like, if he's the PC that you're bringing into the scene, maybe not directly, but by leaning on him quite heavily, then that's the additional dice pool you get for free.
Right. So normally I would get at this stage, how many dice do I get if I have the two?
So 2 for you and 2 for Alex.
And I can do that without a character point.
Yeah,
so I'm just
that's free.
Yes, I like leveraging Alex that way without his consent. All right. So let me just get an extra die there.
I mean, I am sure that Lorraine is used to promising things, not in her strictly in her power, right?
In her power to grant. Well, one step at a time. One step at a time. All right, let's see what happens. So what does that do?
I see 3 in the opposition pool, 2 in the resolution pool. If I'm reading that right. Am I?
No.
No, sorry. It's 3 in both, right?
Are you seeing? So I see a 6-4, a 2, and a 3 in the resolution pool.
Yeah.
And a 6-4-4-1-1 in the opposition pool. I don't know how to read that. Like because there's a tie for the top 2. Do we just go to the third?
No, it's 4s and above. That it's not the highest die. It's the 4s and above count as successes. So
it's not the highest die.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I lost.
So it's 3 and 2. Yeah. If there was a tie, then we win the ties against the opposition.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So then I lost that one. So how does Jack respond?
Lorraine, I know you were used to doing things fast and loose, bending if not breaking the rules, but that is not me. When we're talking about the kind of money that this resort will take, we need to weigh up our options.
Lorraine pulls another cigarette out of her breast pocket and she lights it. And she takes a drag and she says, "You're a tough negotiator, Jack. I like that about you."
Well, you want my money and you're not giving me very much to get it. So that gives me all the power, Lorraine. In your circles, you are powerful, I'm sure, but you're in a bigger pond now.
Fair enough. Now you take care of that dog because he looks like he's about to shit his guts out there. Turns around and
charming as always, Miss Briarwood.
All right. There was that. I tried. Oh, but do I get a character point for attempting it?
No, because you were just doing a normal scene.
Wasn't I pursuing a personal goal?
No, you were trying to get the event off the ground, right?
Oh, I see. Oh, I see. A personal goal means the whole scene has to be about the personal goal. Oh,
Yeah.
I see.
And sorry, if there's a personal goal, you're not rolling at all.
Oh, you're not rolling at
You're just
all. I
looking
see.
after your own private
Uh,
patch or doing something
okay.
non-mechanical. Um,
No personal goals then.
yeah.
All right. Well, then that's bad things happen then. So, right?
Yeah, so the
Oh,
event is
no.
actually at
Even
0,
less
so it
likely.
can't lose any dice, as far as I'm aware. We can't
We're
go
batting
below 0.
1,000 here. Have we all lost?
Yeah, this this last meet with Jack was similarly ineffective. He's a tough cookie, you know. Are you happy? I mean, are you satisfied with where we are in this scene, Jose, or do you want to add anything else?
Oh no, that's okay. It seems like that's the end of the scene. Yeah.
And it's the 70s, so obviously, like we see Jack just, keep walking with the dog after it's taken this ginormous dump, you know, in this on the sidewalk or whatever.
The steam from the dump obscures them as they walk off.
Yeah,
Yeah, that.
this is some kind of strange noir I'm not familiar with, Okay, cool. So let's go back around to Mark.
Okay, so are we on our last scenes?
Yeah,
Is this
so
the
this
last round of
is
scenes?
so we've done one full round of the table, and now we're on our second and final round before we get to our
Okay.
big resolution.
Okay. So, I think that I would like to stay focused on trying to clear up this darkness situation. So let's see how we can do this. Um, I think that I kind of want to go with this, with the mirror, with this mirror thing that we've kind of hooked onto. And who should I bring in? So we've established Ruthie does not want the resort to come in. Lorraine wants the resort. I've already had a bunch of scenes with Zach. I feel kind of like I want to have a scene with Lorraine again. Do you think that that Lorraine might Lorraine might come to Alex to talk about the kind of
That she struck out.
yeah, that she's like having these kind of strange episodes or something?
Yeah, or maybe also that to let you know that she struck out with. Well, she won't tell you
With
how she
Jack?
struck out with with Jack, but she will tell you that she did strike out with Jack and that he's still leading us along. Yeah, she might go to try to what do you call it? Yeah, regroup.
I'm just trying to. I apologize. I'm trying to come up with an angle on this. dealing with the darkness again.
And then maybe when she comes, that she might be having still some symptoms.
Ooh,
And we
yeah,
could get
okay.
into a
So
darkness thing there.
let's do this. So yeah, so we meet at the let's say we're at the resort, and the half-constructed resort, which is by a lake, and a very still glass-like lake today. And
Wouldn't it be on the ocean? I thought.
I need a still
Okay.
glass-like lake. I need a
You
still
changed it then.
glass-like
We're
lake
not okay.
today.
But still glass like let's go for it.
We can be on the ocean and
I don't
the
remember.
lake,
I
right?
mean,
There could be a lake in
yeah, we're by
the
the
and a lake.
coast.
state
Both.
park, right?
Both.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Look at that reflective creek behind Max there. Okay, perfect. So Alex says, so doesn't look like he's gonna budge, huh, Lorraine?
Lorraine's arms are crossed and she's leaning against this bare pillar. And she's looking out over the lake and she says, he's a hard nut to crack. I don't know if he really has any intention of helping us. But all we can do is keep trying, unless you got someone else we can try.
No. I wish I did. I mean, things are a little crazy around here, I guess, as it is. There's a lot of weird stuff happening right now. I guess maybe Jack's out of our hands for the moment.
And as Lorraine's staring out across the water, and it looks kind of mirror-like, and the sun's getting low now in the sky because it's towards the end of the day. There's a lot of kind of reflection off of the setting sun on the still water. Her face kind of goes soft again, and she goes, "Damn!" And she starts shaking her hand. Get off! Get off! Like there's something on her hand, and she goes, "Damn it! That damn Ruthie! I never listened to my sister ever again. Remind me, Alex, never to listen to that woman again. She's full of bad advice, and she's a bully too."
And she is. But Alex says, is that paint or something on your hands? Because apparently he can actually see it as well. It's not just some kind of hallucination.
Yeah, and that's interesting because I don't think Wolf could see it. So Lorraine says, "You can see that, Alex?"
It looks like it looks like silver spray paint, but where is this? And then I think that Alex thinks about he flashes back to Zach saying what the body said in the woods. And he says it's mirror. It's like a mirror on your hand.
I was stupid enough to listen to my sister. Play with forces that I don't understand. She doesn't understand. And now I'm infected or something. Yeah, it looks like mercury, yeah. Quicksilver.
I think that Alex reaches over and touches Lorraine's hand. And I think that here we're going to roll to see how this goes. To see if this psychic infection takes Alex. So we're looking at this roll, and this is the darkness. So I'm trying to remove a die from the darkness. So we have the opposition pool at 5 still, correct?
Yeah.
My resolution pool is 2. And
Plus
and I
2
also get
for Lorraine.
Lorraine.
Yeah.
So we're at 4 and 4. I'm sorry, 5 and 4. Okay.
Yeah. And if unless Jose is still saving his character point.
Doesn't make sense to save it anymore.
Okay.
Well, I might need it when my turn
Yeah.
comes.
You should keep it for your turn. Yeah. No, keep it for your roll.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Oh, 1. Ooh, 1 to 2. Perfect. So I think what happens is we see while Alex is touching Lorraine's hand and kind of examining it, he's facing away from the stillness of the lake, and something reaches from the lake and it's as it reaches from the lake, that part of Lorraine's hand becomes invisible here, and it's almost as if it's her hand reaching from the lake, and grabs Alex and quickly pulls Alex into the water.
Holy shit, Alex! What the fuck was that thing? Lorraine runs to the edge of the water.
And there's no sign of Alex there.
Oh, glassy. Perfect.
So I've bumped the darkness pool back up to 5. And with that, we should add a manifestation. It sounds like we have added a manifestation of the darkness. Do we think it's the lake, the mirrored surface of the water, or is it something else? What do you think?
I think it feels like it's any reflective thing, a mirror, the lake, and I think it's all comes back to Ruthie's let's see, so newcomers, well, folks here just don't understand that things that happen make the spirits angry, and it would appear that maybe the lake or the reflective entities do not want this this resort built for whatever reason. I don't know.
Is like from this shoreline, can we see the resort, the half-finished resort overlooking it?
Yeah, I didn't set the scene properly, but yeah, I was imagining it was right by the resort, so that people who are staying at the resort could go into the lake, or if they're at the other end of the resort that's closer to the ocean, they could.
Yeah, maybe it's like a bridging resort between the two bodies of water.
Yes.
Okay, so just to reiterate, Alex has disappeared into the lake, right?
He could turn up, certainly.
He could turn up for sure.
But, yeah.
Okay, wow.
Or he could appear in a flashback or something too.
What does Lorraine do?
She starts swearing to herself, God damn it! And she pulls her boots off and she jumps into the lake to try to find Alex. And you just see her going down, then coming up for air, then going down and coming up for air. and but not finding him.
Awesome. I mean, terrible.
Terrible.
Awful or awesome. Who knows? Okay. So my scene for Zach. I think I'm gonna drop in to Ruthie. Do Max? You think I find Ruthie in her usual spot in the diner, or where do you think?
I think Ruthie is sitting at the edge of the woods. She's got a little bench that she likes to sit on there, and she's got her cup of something. You don't know what it is, but she's hanging out at the edge of the woods, just watching.
Yeah. And I think, maybe Zach has been in the woods since he and Alex had um, their misunderstanding / understanding. And he comes out looking kind of tired. Maybe his hands are covered in charcoal ash, like he's been rummaging a lot. And he's maybe writing something in a notebook as he walks out. Ruthie.
Well, hey there, Zach. You've been keeping people out of the woods like you're supposed to?
I've been patrolling, but yeah, I'm not liking what I'm seeing.
What are you seeing?
A lot of burnt etchings, strange markings. I don't know.
Is that a crime?
No, it just makes me uneasy with what's going on.
You think it's tourists?
I don't think it's tourists, Ruthie.
What do you think?
I think there's something fucking strange going on in these woods, and I want to know what it is. And I think you know what's going on.
My people have been in and around these woods for generations. And I don't know, I think they just want some peace and quiet. I don't think they're getting it.
You want peace and quiet so much you're willing to kill Clifford Wallace?
I haven't killed anybody. What are you talking about? I'm not a killer.
That's a great denial, Ruthie. If I were a professional lawman, that'd make you my suspect number one.
Oh, wait, you're not a professional lawman?
Oh shit, I am, and now it does, I guess. Thanks for filling in the gaps there.
You go ahead and suspect me all you want, but I haven't done anything wrong. Nothing.
If I go back into those woods and I don't come out, what are you going to tell my family, Ruthie? If I poke my nose into the wrong kind of business.
I don't know what you're talking about, Zach. If you don't come out, I'm going to come looking for you. Of course I am. What do you think I am?
Help me out here. Tell me something that's going to lead me to find out who killed Clifford Wallace. What is going on in this town? I'm sure you know more than you're telling me.
I think you need to talk to Lorraine.
I know exactly where
I think
Lorraine's weed
oh,
gardens are.
well, it's my impression that Lorraine has a role in here, and I don't really understand what it is myself, but I've been trying to tell her that. She's just ignoring me. Keeps running away from me.
She doesn't trust you either.
I know.
Color me shocked.
Well, I don't trust her either. Two can play that game.
Two can play that game. Well, why don't let's go find your sister, and
All right.
we can hash this out.
All right. You want some of my tea?
I do not.
Oh, darn it. It's the best batch I ever made. You're missing out, Mr. Not Sheriff.
So,
All right, let's go.
so do you think that we are? I'm not sure. I'm not sure Zach is going to get very far with Ruthie with regard to the darkness. Do you think Zach might be in a position to help with Ruthie and Lorraine's relationship?
I mean, maybe if you could sweet talk Lorraine into being back in my good graces or whatever, however you say that. Maybe if you could help Lorraine understand that she needs to fulfill whatever role she has in this situation. Stop running.
What do you think, Jose? Do you think that is plausible, or um, will I go for the darkness instead?
It's up to you. That's plausible. I mean, you could try it. Would that mean another scene, or would you roll?
Well, I don't think it would mean another scene,
Okay.
but maybe we'll just go for the darkness instead. Okay. Maybe because now we're talking about Lorraine, maybe Ruthie opens up a little bit, and she obviously wants something from Zach, and maybe it's possible that he might find out a little bit more than you were willing to give him when he was asking direct. Does that make sense, Max?
Okay.
Okay. So let me take my chances with this dice pool. This dice pool has not been our friend so far, but wonders never cease. Nope. Close, but no cigar. 3 versus 2 again. So yeah, I think so. I've upped the darkness pool, the ever increasing darkness pool, and I think there will be a new manifestation.
Sorry, I can't help you, Zachy boy.
Well, we're walking and talking along this kind of forest trail down towards the lake, and you say something like, "Sorry, I can't help you," and like Zach is quiet. He doesn't answer back, and when you look over your shoulder, he's gone.
Oh boy.
And then we cut to Zach walking along a path, but it's going deeper and deeper into the forest. And he looks over his shoulder to where Ruthie is, and you're not there. So this kind of, we see him in this labyrinthine thicket of forest.
And Ruthie sees that Zach is gone, sniffs the air a little bit. Oh boy, another one bites the dust.
Super. Yeah, so Max, you've a scene for Ruthie. The everything is turning up in Millhouse, I guess.
All right, so I guess the only one left for me to encounter is Lorraine. Back to you and me, sister. And so Ruthie keeps walking the direction that she was walking with Zach. And I guess it's getting closer to the lake, to the resort. The resort, the unbuilt resort, which is on a bridge between the lake and the ocean, apparently. Ruthie gets to the bridge and actually walks up the ramp, starts walking up the bridge to the resort. And at some point, there's a little bench there. She just sits down, sniffs the air some more, says, "Sisters, you sure got some ways." You sure got some ways. You incorporating all those boys into your minions now, or what the hell's going on? Why won't Lorraine listen to you? I am at my wit's end. I am trying to save this town. Nobody listens to me. And I think Lorraine is seeing this, actually. I think Lorraine is not far off and actually can hear Ruthie.
Yeah, Lorraine is bedraggled. She's totally wet from trying to find Alex in the lake. Um, and I think she comes up to Ruthie and she says, "Ruthie, Alex is gone."
Oh, I know. I know.
I need I need to call the sheriff. But ain't no
Well,
phone.
I got news for you, honey. They got the sheriff too.
Who the hell is they?
You know, I suspect that our Coven sisters have. Who was that person that originally disappeared?
Julia.
Julia.
Clara's
I
mom.
suspect that everybody who disappears in this town is actually getting used. I think our sisters are using people for their own ends. I don't like it.
You think
I
we
don't
can
want
get,
the resort, but I don't really want all these people to be dying either.
you think we can get him back?
I think you need to be looking in that mirror. I know you don't want to. I think the answer is in there.
Too many mirrors. Look at my hand. Look at
I
my
know,
hand.
honey. I know.
I don't know what to do.
Why don't you sit down with me for a little while?
Lorraine sits down on the bench and she puts her head in her hands. And the hand is definitely, I mean, you definitely see now that the kind of Mercury-like mirroring has reached down to her elbow and is continuing down. Ruthie can see it.
So the mirror's in you now.
That's right. It's like an infection.
You are the mirror.
Poor Alex, he touched it and he's gone now.
Yeah, the sisters don't want anybody interfering with whatever they got going on.
I don't want to be used by them, Ruthie.
I know. But how else are we going to understand what to do? They have all the power.
Well, maybe we just have to take this to them. Straight out.
All right.
Go find those women.
Come
They
on.
can't hide from us. The covenant works.
I don't think they want to hide from us. I think they're trying to talk to us too. They talk to me.
Covenant works both ways. We can find them, no problem.
All right.
What else could go wrong?
So we're going back to the lighthouse then?
Lead the way.
All right, let's go. So they wander off, talk to the sisters.
That sounds like it was kind of a relationship scene.
Yeah. Yeah, and Lorraine, you softened to Ruthie.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we do this? Do we have to roll for this relationship scene?
We do.
Darn it. All right. Okay, so I have
character point.
well, what do we have here?
I think we got
I have
4 between us.
4 dice. You have a character point.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a scene left?
I have a scene left, yeah, which I assume will be us going to see the sisters, or I don't know what it should be. I mean, we'll have to, maybe we can decide as a group how to do that.
All right. So I guess I roll with 4.
Well, wait a second. Should I spend that my point? What happens? Let's see. Rule summary. I didn't do any of the things though. I didn't introduce. You did. We didn't. How does the character point of the other person work?
So the same. Whoever's involved in the scene can spend along the same lines. So, bang for your buck. The best use of that character point is to introduce another PC because that would bring 2 dice to the party.
Oh, but
we don't have any.
Well, you know, if you spend it, you know, Alex is miraculously spat out or whatever, you know.
Well, maybe looking in the mirror. Maybe looking in the mirror, you can see Alex.
Maybe as Lorraine stretches out her hand to see how far it's gone, and she's thinking about walking into the forest to see the coven. She sees Zach in the reflection of her arm, and she says to Ruthie, I can see Zach. He's alive.
Can you talk to him? Can you hear him?
Zach, can you hear me?
I guess you see, you know, Zach confusedly turn around, looking up into the foliage, and maybe you see him shouting. But
I can't hear what he's saying, Ruthie. I can't hear what he's saying, but he can hear me. What do I tell him?
Ah! Ask him where he is.
But I can't hear what he says. Where are you?
Uh,
Sign
s- so, so Max, if is this about the relationship or is this about the darkness now? What do you think?
Can it be both?
Mechanically, it has to do one thing.
So if it's about the relationship, if we win that one, right? I'm just power gaming this a little bit. We would also get character points. Is that correct? In addition to, or no, instead of clearing the die or transforming our die.
So there's two things. One is when you make it about your relationship, you get a character point for making it about a relationship. And then if you succeed, you either both get an additional character point or you flip the die between you.
Okay.
Do we care about getting character points at this stage?
I have one more turn.
Okay.
One more scene. So if you got a second character point, no, you have 0 right now, so it doesn't help you as much. Then what's the other option if it's not a relationship scene?
If it's about the darkness, then when you succeed, you get rid of one of the darkness dice.
I don't know.
I think we're already enveloped in darkness.
Yeah, it looks like we've already, and I've already narrated the scene, so I think I just spent my character point in narrating the scene. So we know we have 6 die. We just don't know whether it's going to be about the darkness or about the relationship, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's up to you, Max. It's your scene.
Yeah, it's your scene, Max. So whichever you want to achieve.
We may all die anyways.
I think maybe I'll make it about the darkness.
Okay.
Okay. So grab 2 more red dice into your resolution pool and roll them off. 5 versus 6.
And do I roll the opposition pool also?
Yeah, you're rolling everything.
So I select all these dice.
Yeah.
5 on the
It's
left.
our biggest die pool, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Darkness, come to me. Oh God.
No, that's
we
good.
did it. We
that's
did it.
good. That's 3 for the opposition, 3 for resolution. So that is a success.
Oh, okay. Great.
So
we won something.
Yeah. We knocked down the darkness from its scary perch at 6 down to 5. So Max, what does Zach reply or show you that leads you to kind of understand how to defeat the darkness?
I think that I start also looking into the mirror on Lorraine's arm. So Ruthie's looking into the mirror on Lorraine's arm and also seeing Zach. And Ruthie starts talking to Zach. Zach, listen. Listen for the sisters. Listen for the voices of the sisters. Do you hear them?
I hear the leaves whispering.
You hear what they're saying? So
There.
No more resort. Get out.
They want to be left alone. They want me to get out, but they're drawing me deeper.
No resort.
No resort.
Stop the resort. So.
So we cut that scene there. Okay, and let's take our next break. Okay, we're back. Jose, final scene of Act 2. Oh, you're muted.
Sorry. So after this scene, there won't be any more scenes, and we just do resolution mechanics, or
so after the scene we do resolution, so we like have a resolution roll off for the darkness and for the event, and then we kind of have epilogue scenes to resolve those fictionally, and then maybe we have a quick epilogue character-wise.
Okay. So regardless of what happens in this, well, okay. So character points, we don't need any more character points.
Yeah, sorry.
Those roles won't be impacted by character points.
Well, so if we had a surplus of character points, we would pool them, and every 2 character points we had would be worth 1 die in the kind of final resolution. But
okay. So then maybe, because one of the things I was thinking was, in terms of the narrative, that it might make sense to do a relationship scene with my sister again, as we're going in to try to find the coven. If we were to be successful with that, we could change the die if we were successful.
Yeah.
And then
so
right, we could either do that or the other one. Okay.
Yeah, you could change the die, or if you took the character point, you had those like 2, you probably because you would have both of them, so you could either keep them or change your dice pool for that. Those character points that are pooled at the end are like any of them on the table, instead of, it doesn't have to be concentrated in one character. So yeah, I mean, it's up to you. It's much of a muchness, I think, mechanically.
Probably the same either way, whether I do darkness or whether I do character.
I guess if we're gonna be looking at our impact of a failed roll, there's no downside to failing that relationship roll, right?
To relationship. Okay, so maybe we'll do that one. Lower the stakes a little bit. All right, then I think, and this doesn't have to be a long scene, because I know our time is running down. But I can imagine, let's do it, Ruthie. Let's figure out what's it like to walk into the forest to look for the coven and look for Zach, and maybe Alex too, who might be in there somewhere. But none of us have character points that we can use to like bring them into, so it would just be you and I.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. So I guess we're walking down a path in the forest, just like behind you, Max, on your screen. Only by this point, I think it's twilight, and the the light's dying, and kind of the color is just beginning to turn to that gray twilight color, as we're walking through. And I think Lorraine says, I can hear him real clear now, Ruthie. I can feel the direction. Don't know where Zach is. Don't know if Alex is still even around. But I can feel where the sisters are.
You lead us.
And then she points with her mirror arm, and she says, "It's this way." And
You're doing real good. You're doing real good, Lorraine.
You're so confident, Ruthie. How you know this ain't gonna go to shit and we're all gonna end up dead?
I
What
don't.
gives you hope?
I don't know. Same way you know which way to go.
Those women ever give you any reason to trust them?
They raised me. They raised you too. What'd they do to you
Just
that you
always
hate
felt
so
like
much?
I just always felt like I was a tool that they were using. It wasn't about me. It was about, I don't know, what I could do for them. I don't like being used. That's why I became my own boss. And fuck the law and fuck everybody else. And now here I'm walking back straight into their arms. Am I going to get used again?
Well, Lorraine, you can't throw away your family and stay in town.
Well, you're my family, Ruthie.
I know. And so are those sisters.
And I guess even Maisie's our family too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Maisie. Is she going to be okay if we both die here?
Don't know. I don't think we're going to die, Lorraine. Listen.
Wish I
Keep
had
it.
your optimism. I'm listening. I'm listening. Finally listening, Ruthie.
Hey, they don't call me Sonny for nothing. My sunny disposition.
Lorraine laughs a little bit and puts her other arm, the non-mirrory arm, around her sister. And as they're walking, I think you can see in the distance towards where they're walking, like shimmering in the air that looks different from everything else. Everything else looks like twilight gray, and but there's like silvery shimmering in the distance. And I guess we could make the roll now, if you're if that's cool with you, Ruthie.
Oh, good.
All right, so it's just 4, right?
Yeah,
And
five versus 4.
5 versus 4. Let me just pick them. Boom, 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 boom. Nope.
Hey, no. Oh,
They got 3, we got 2. Sorry, sister. I did my best.
oh.
Okay, so that means nothing changes in our relationship. Nothing changes, period, right?
Yeah, so I mean, I guess I would like to see how, despite going down this, downward spiral into this cult center in the forest, nothing the same dynamics persist.
Yeah, it's hard to turn on a dime there because of the dice. We have to somehow sour that scene, right? Do you have any ideas, Ruthie?
Keep going, Lorraine. Keep going. We got to just go a little further. Keep going.
Don't push me. I'm going. What more you want?
I want to feel your enthusiasm, sister.
Lorraine stops and turns towards her and says, I never promised you my enthusiasm, Ruthie. I'm doing this because I have to do it, and there ain't no choice. But don't be asking the impossible of me. And then she turns and just continues walking, but doesn't look at her sister.
Oh, Lorraine, will you ever change? Damn it, girl.
I could ask you the same thing, Ruthie. You're old and stuck in your ways just as bad as I am.
I know it, but I don't have the same role you do in the turning of this town.
Yeah. Everyone's got a role for me. When do I get to make some choices?
Can we bring the sisters in?
Because we won't really have any scenes, right? Beyond this,
Right.
except epilogues. Or do we narrate somehow after the rolls?
Yeah, so we'll have a resolution scene.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
All right. So that seems to be.
and that can be description or personal scene, whatever makes the most sense, or a bit of both.
Well, I would say that we could do the resolution rolls. That's just my opinion. And then assuming that Alex and Zach somehow are there when we come to the sisters, then we could create a scene, all four of us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we're building the resolution pools in the dice room. So we have 8 dice. So we each have 2 dice, and we decide where those dice are going. The darkness has 5, and the event has 2. That's based on our cult dice in our relationships. And there's 1 floating black die for the body that we decide whether it goes with the darkness or the event.
And what's the event again?
The
resort?
Yeah,
okay.
Whether this successfully goes ahead. We have no character points, so we don't need to worry about that. Yeah. So I guess you can put both your dice into one or the other, or split them if you like.
What are the 2 that you're talking about? One or the other?
The darkness or the event. So if you look in the
right.
in the dice room, you can see on the right hand side there's the darkness and the event. So can we declare them in turn, just so no one's moving too many dice, so we don't get confused?
I moved my 2 dice into the darkness.
Okay. No.
Well,
surprise.
does that mean that you're trying to make the darkness win?
No. So fighting against the darkness is or fighting for the event, or both.
Okay.
So I've moved both of Ruthie's dice into the darkness resolution pool. Jose, how about you?
So if I were to move my dice into the darkness, I'm sorry, I'm still confused. Sorry.
So we are trying to overcome the darkness, or overcome our personal angst to make the event happen.
Right.
Okay, so those are the 2 things we're trying to achieve as a community.
Right.
So you're deciding where your efforts are going, basically.
Oh, okay. So the event, what opposition is rolled against the event?
There's 2 in the event, so that's our cult dice in our relationships.
And that roll will happen with what opposition?
Whatever dice we put in versus 2.
Oh, versus the 2.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So if I were to put my 2 dice into the darkness, it would be against the darkness, right?
against the 5.
Yeah, which I think that's what narratively makes sense.
Okay.
For me, yeah.
Mark, how about you? You can sit in the fence. You can put 1 in each.
That's what I was gonna do. I was gonna go
Okay.
1 and 1. 1 and 1, please.
So let me do that. And I will similarly sit in the fence. And then as a group, we decide where this 8th dice, the body die, the die from the body pool goes.
And
What do we think?
it's going to be in the opposition pool, right?
Yeah, it's a black die, so it's going against us.
I think it's in the darkness.
That's what makes sense.
Okay. Okay.
Although it did impact the event, but
Okay. So these 2 resolution pools are exactly matched. 2 versus 2 for the event, and 6 versus 6 for the darkness. Does someone want to take responsibility for this role?
None of us have had good luck this evening or day.
I can roll for the darkness or against the darkness.
That's great. Do it.
Okay.
That means you roll the ones above and below, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I had some trouble moving dice, so it's probably displaying correctly for everyone else, but I can't. I can try to refresh it here, but as long as the dice look correct to everyone else, we're in good shape.
Oh, hey!
Okay. Oh my God, we won.
We didn't die.
So 2 6s for us against the darkness, and a single 6 as a success. So and Mark, why don't you, or will I roll the event?
Go for it.
And Ruthie can hex me.
She gets to do her epilogue where she places the bomb. Oh.
Okay. So that's a draw.
Mm-hmm.
If the results are tied, this player succeeded with the event, but at great cost to themselves and the town. Okay.
I've been trying to tell you.
Yeah, but that means there's a town here and not just a rundown train station.
Smoking hole.
Yeah. And the resolution pool is higher than the darkness pool. The player successfully overcome the darkness. So that is an incomplete. Well, kind of not quite an incomplete victory, but a kind of a victory with a Pyrrhic cost. So how do we think this goes down?
Well, it seems like the darkness part of it was the most imminent in terms of coming to narratively. We were about to enter, engage with the coven.
Yeah. So do we want to play something strange out in that scene where the coven throws back the darkness, or?
I feel like there's something about how the coven took one person and that person ended up becoming the darkness. That's kind of the thing that keeps going through my head. So they took Julia, and Julia ended up becoming the darkness, and we don't exactly know what her motivation was. But it wasn't the coven actually directing it. Like, they had an indirect role in creating the darkness, but then the darkness was sort of also opposing them in some way. Does that make sense to people?
So do we think something like Alex or even Zach is a vehicle for the darkness now?
Potentially. Potentially. I mean, does Julia have you? Who has you? Julia have you, or does the sisters have you?
Yeah, one thing that makes sense with what Max just offered is Lorraine and Julia had some kind of relationship. I mean, Lorraine was in love with Julia.
Mhm.
So the fact that the coven might be calling Lorraine to deal with Julia makes sense at some level.
Mm-hmm.
There were mutual feelings. Um, uh, but I don't know how Zach and Alex fit into it. Any ideas, Mark or Donna? You could just be tied to trees.
Yeah. No, I think that I think maybe it makes sense the way that this is kind of played out for Alex to be some kind of like taken over by the darkness.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe Zach is not. So we get a split there in the end. And so so Julia, so we're saying Julia kind of was taken by the coven, became the darkness that is in the woods, right? Okay. And Julia then has by extension taken over Alex when we see Alex next. And
I have an image of Ruthie and Lorraine entering the clearing, and the coven is there. I don't know exactly. We can someone else can describe the coven, but what I'm seeing is that in the center of that glade, there's like a small pool of water, and Alex's body like suddenly comes up out of the pool of water, drenched, and his eyes are black, and you can tell that he's not him anymore, or he's possessed in some way. Since he fell into the water, maybe he comes out of the water.
mm-hmm. I like that, yeah.
And I think Lorraine steps forward, and at this point, the mercury kind of stuff is like you can see it coming up her neck and down the other arm. It's like it's covered her skin now, or it's been the process of covering her. And she comes forward and she says, "Julia, is that you? Sweetheart, is that you?" I'll let you play, Mark, the darkness, through Julia and Jack, through Julia and Alex. Sorry.
So yeah, so I think maybe Alex reaches out hand to Lorraine and says in Julia's voice, because Julia and Lorraine were together, right? They were in it. And says in Julia's voice, "Embrace me."
And Lorraine says, "You come back to me, Julia. I've been waiting for you." And rather than embrace her, Lorraine steps forward and grabs her by the hand with her arm that's all mirrored. And we see that Alex's arm is black, like, pitch black. And Lorraine starts pulling. "Help me, Ruthie. Help me get her out of here."
All right, so Ruthie comes in and grabs the other hand of Julia / Alex / darkness. And Ruthie is pulling also.
Does Zach wander in?
I don't think you need another chef.
Another chef in this. And I hear the coven are all like these dark, shadowy figures. I don't think we get see faces or anything, but and they're all beginning to chant. And we see the mercury light cover Lorraine's face, so only her eyes are out now, and then I think what I see is a heave ho, and
War.
and we see Alex, because it's his body, right? Fly into the air, but as he flies into the air, the blackness is left and falls back into the pool of water, and then the coven all run forward to the pool of water and start throwing leaves and dirt on it to try to put it back to sleep, and then continue the chanting. And Alex, what do you like now? Are you Julia? Are you Alex?
Wow, it would be really amazing if it was Julia now. Don't you think?
It could be, yeah. It's up to you.
Lorraine hopes so.
Lorraine hopes
There's
so.
there's just
Like,
you're looking for Alex, and when you can see this person is on the ground on all fours with their head bowed, and when you get closer, this person lifts their head, and you see that it is Julia, reclaimed from the darkness.
then we have to have a kiss.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
And then Ruthie, you should have a wisecrack at the end.
Oh my God, you too. After all these years, where's Alex? We're gonna get Alex. Is Alex coming back to us? Are we done with that, Doctor?
Ooh, maybe one of the figures steps forward from the coven and throws back their hood, and you find that somehow it is Zach. How is that possible?
All my secrets are revealed.
Okay, yeah, that sounds suitably climactic. I think the Pyrrhic victory of the event. I have an idea for this, but maybe it's like a post-credit stinger, right? We see the like 18 months later or whatever. We see the resort being opened to fanfare. We see Jack pride of place on the dais, cutting the ribbon, all that nonsense. And
Shithead finally came through.
and we see him like walk to the office he has in the resort, and he sits down, he locks the door, he picks up a phone, and he calls someone. And we don't hear the other side of the conversation. He just says, "Mr. Steiner, everything's waiting for you. You'll find that rotten black heart when you arrive." Fade to black.
Fade to black.
Whoa!
Nice one.
Whoa!
Jack is a killer.
So I think that's where we can wrap.
Yeah.
Who knows whether we'll see another prequel / sequel. Who knows? Yeah. So I will stop the recording and we will do our debrief.